Hey guys, how are you? I should actually be saying good morning guys, how are you? Because I'm taking you with me on my morning walk yet again. Alfie and I are out already for half an hour I think. We just came along the river and now we're in the favorite area, which is in between the river, the forest and the Baltic Sea. So you see like it's really a little like slopey and really beautiful landscape here. And if I swing around a little bit, you even get to see the river, I think. Yes, you do. There it is. There's a river. So down there, this is where the river ends into the Baltic Sea, so maybe 500 meters, so really close to the Baltic Sea already. It's windy and there's a little snow outside, a typical grim winter day, but still beautiful, fresh air. I don't want to miss one of these moments. And I really love this area, not just because of the landscape. I try and swing around so you really get to see it and enjoy it, but this area, oh, there's Alfie. She's always having a jolly good time because she could just run around and it's so nice to walk here with her. But yeah, this area is filled with a lot of rose rugosas, and summertime comes, the entire area is filled with the most glorious scent you could possibly imagine. The fragrance is so impeccable here. And this is also the area where I took the cuttings from the rose rugosa that I am growing in my own garden. So the white ones are growing here in a patch, which is really beautiful. Today's video is even a little bit about roses. I'm not going to take cuttings or anything. I'm going to be collecting some rose hips because I want to make some jam out of rose hips together with you guys. And you might be thinking like he's always making jam, and to be fair, I do jam quite often because I really love to eat plain coconut yogurt and then I amp it up with some sort of seasonal jam that I'm making. And now is a perfect time of the year to collect rose hips and make jam out of them because we've gone through quite a long cold spell, frosty nights, and all the sugar in those rose hips could really rise, so they're now juicy and sweet and sugary and perfect. I started collecting a little bit, so I got my glass with me, already just a few in there. I really want to fill it up completely. And I found another thing today, on my way here, there is an area where the beaver is really active and another tree came down. But good for me because I have my secateurs with me, so I could cut some branches and they're looking so beautiful. Look at them. Really big buds, just about to burst open when I put them in a vase inside. So they'll go on the couch table. Want to buy some white tulips, some long stems ones. I think this is going to look very pretty. But before that happens, I'm going to start collecting the rose hips together with you guys. So hope you're excited about today's video. It's a new day, and to be fair, it looks to be a quite beautiful day outside today, but it is freezing. The beach walk that normally takes like 1.5 hours in the morning kind of was reduced by 45 minutes today because it was so cold that Alfie and I both decided, no, this is not good. The wind was picking up and we just headed straight back home after 45 minutes, made it comfy in front of the couch, and now I feel it's a perfect day to do some projects with you in the inside. And obviously, since yesterday I picked the rose hips, today is a perfect day to do something with them. What I already started preparing that you might have seen is I was working on a dough because I'm making something quite traditional for me, which are stuffed sweet buns. So the dough is a yeast dough, and when it comes to yeast and I, our relationship is a little iffy at times, but I think today we're heading down a good road, let's put it that way so far, because the dough already sits in the oven for a good 40 minutes and I could see that it was rising, so I just covered it with a little more flour, which is working it in again, and now needs to sit in there for at least another hour to do all the goodness in there. And I stuff it with a mixture of marzipan and then some roasted nuts. So I'm using pistachios and walnuts, and then a shredded apple and a little bit of cinnamon, because we're still in winter and cinnamon is, for me, it's not just a Christmas taste. It kind of works. Honestly, cinnamon works all year round for me, but especially during winter time, it just gives you this warm comfort feeling. That's exactly what I want to have in there today. So yeah, this is what I'm going to do in the meantime, but now I'm going to focus on the rose hips, obviously. They were sitting in the fridge overnight, so they're all nice and cooled still. I already washed them just to make sure if there's anything on there that you don't want to have, even though, I mean, they grow outside and organically, obviously. But you never know. A little bird might visit the rose hip and then leave something on there. So I really want to make sure that they're all nice, fresh and clean. And this is what they are. So I have a good bowl of them. What I want to show you now first is what I do, how to prepare them, because when it comes to the actual cooking, this is just a very basic jam making. I just use a fruit with the amount of sugar that is required, and then I fill it in the glass, and I just say glass singular because I think the amount of rose hips that I have will be just enough for one jar of jam basically. And the reason is, like, yes, it was really cold. So after picking one jar of rose hips, I was also like, okay, I've had it. I'm happy to go home now. And preparing them, you will see in a second, is a little bit of a work. So this is like, it can be a little tedious at times, but I'm going to watch something at Netflix while doing it. So I just want to show you how the average rose hip is going to look like. So this is kind of like how they normally would look like, nice and red color. And you can tell that there's like this dried of spent flower head on the top. There's nothing on the base because I hand-picked them off the shrub, and because they were frozen, they just came off very easily actually from the shrubs, which was nice. And now they feel a little mushy, and obviously they do because we are quite late into the year already, or like early into the year actually. I mean, like late into the picking season for rose hips, let's maybe put it that way. And they were frozen. And after you put anything out of the freezer, we all know it, if you put, I don't know, blueberries in the freezer and take them out, they also happen to be mushy after that, obviously. They're not as firm and nice as they are, what they were when you put them inside the freezer. So what you do here basically is, first of all, you come in and just remove the spent flower head. So you could just easily do it like that. It just comes off really easily. And then what you need to do is, since outside they're all clean and nice, you just come in with a small knife and just cut it open all the way the side from the top to the bottom, so you can open it up. That's what I'm going to do, so I can show you how it looks like. And now I'm going to explain you why you want to use fruit that are nice and fleshy, because the inside is entirely filled with the seeds. I hope you can see it well now. And they are not edible. And what you want to do is come in with your knife basically and just take out all of the seeds gently, because you do not want to remove too much of the flesh that sits in there, because then you're not left with a lot. Then you're only left with the skin of the fruit, basically. So yeah, that looks good. And this is why you see that this job can be a little tedious, actually, at times. And this is what you want to have as a result. There's a thin layer of flesh. There's not a lot. Then there is the outside. And this is what you do with the entire bowl, basically, and really try and work my way through. To be fair, there was a small fruit that I just showed you. I also have like some bigger ones in here where I know, okay, they have a lot more flesh in there and less seeds. So there's a mixture of everything, because I was picking from all different kind of shrubs, because I know the area, obviously, in summer how it looks like. There's some roses that flower in pinkish tones, some in whitish tones. So obviously, they're kind of different varieties. And this is also why I was picking different kind of fruit, because really to have a rich, nice, full flavor. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to work my way through this entire bowl, prepare everything. When I'm done with that, I know that the dough that is sitting in the oven will be ready, hopefully. And then I can start working on my sweet buns, put them in the oven so they bake. And while they are baking, there is a time when I will be cooking the jam just according to the recipe, with like the amount of sugar that the amount of fruit actually do require. And then I'm very happy to have a little coffee break with you in the afternoon and tell you how it tastes. So Alfie and I have made it ourselves comfortable, and one quick thing to say is I did not prepare all the rose hips, because at one point it was so tedious, you wouldn't believe it. I made roughly, I think, 2/3, maybe half I would say, and it took me an entire hour, I think even a little longer. So at that point I was like, maybe make a little bit first, because otherwise if you do all of them and then you don't like the taste of it, there is a lot of time spent for nothing in the end. So I made them, and I decided to mix them up a little bit with blueberries, because I know that if you do like a really tart taste, then don't add any other fruit, because rose hips are quite tart in their flavor. It is a nice thing, but I just appreciate if there's something a little fruity in there, and I just still happen to have like some blueberries. So I thought that there might be a nice additional combination. I've already tried a little bit out of the pot, and they're actually really, really nice. So what I'm going to do now is try and have my little coffee break in the afternoon with you. Even the buns, they are looking pretty nice. Put a little bit of icing sugar on top of it. So very happy with those. They'll be better though. They're still warm from the oven. They'll be better tonight, I would say. But this is kind of like how they're looking on the inside. If you're breaking open, so you really have like this filling in there with all of the nice nuts and the marzipan and everything. So let's try it. How I do eat it now is like I mix some creme fraiche with some vanilla sugar, because this is like a really nice combination on top of here, and then just a little bit of the jam. Alfie found her favorite squeaky toy. Alfie, honestly, oh my God, that is so good. That is true soul food. The jam is delicious. I'm not even going to say anything. It really is delicious. Just the combination. Okay, I'm sorry, Alfie. We're going to substitute that now for a second. Come here. Come here. Come here. Come here. Come here. Okay, that'll keep her busy for at least 5 minutes up until I hide the other toy. Just a combination of the rose that really have the fragrance and the sense of roses in there, in combination with the blueberries, is really delicious. And also like with the creme fraiche, I think it's just like this mixture of everything. Yeast dough worked pretty well today, so I'm well happy about that. What I'm going to do now is just finish it off, have a lovely coffee break in the afternoon, give Alfie her toy back, obviously, and play with her a little bit afterwards. Then we both of us heading out for a walk, I think. And then I want to go to the hardware stores, because every single time I go back to the house, there's one thing that I kind of figure, and whenever I order something online, I'll figure it well again, because we don't have a house number down at the house. There's nothing. So most of the delivery guys, they know kind of like which house number we are, but a lot of them are kind of like very much clueless. So I think one of the things that I want to do is just build something that can go out on the street basically. But I need to do a little research first, and then I want to go to the hardware stores and see if I find something. So if I find something nice at one point, one of the future videos is going to be me building our house number, at least the one that goes out on the street rather than the one that will be attached to the house. But let's see. I'll be surprised if I find something. But before that happens, I'm going to have a lovely coffee break. I just want to say thank you so much for watching today's video. I hope it was interesting for you, and I would really love to welcome you in one of my future videos very soon again. Until then, have a wonderful day, guys. Bye.